as a Filipino, I think it's funny to have all these nicknames. Marami tayong nicknames. Ayoko lang when you do some sort of a roll call at a family gathering, they'll call you June, JR, Bong, Bing, Bang. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, you're making sound effects when you're doing the roll call.
Where Chika meets Chaching. Chika2Chaching.
It's so true. It's so true. That's
Well, I
hilarious.
would probably say that being Filipino, I mean, every culture probably has, I know, some sort of quirkiness about them, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm proud of. That's what we have, and it's funny, obviously, to other culture when you say it in that regards. But I just think that that should be celebrated. That's our uniqueness, our little quirks, I guess, if you want to call it that.
No, that's very, very true. There's a lot of it's a to your point, what makes us unique as Filipinos, right? Uh, you have those part of your life going, that doesn't make sense, and then as you become an adult, you're like, oh, that's a good shortcut. This
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
they
yeah.
do that.
Sometimes if you really study of culture, you realize that there's got to be some sort of logic to why we do that to ourselves. We would have a name like me. My name is Ferdinand, and then how do you get a nickname like Bong from Ferdinand? And now I gave up my secret. Okay, that's my
I
nickname.
know, I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, you know what? Does he go by Ferdy? Let me ask him first.
Exactly right.
You
the,
know,
the non-Filipino would go, how do you get Bong from Ferdinand, and then all
it's
these
so
other.
far, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why this is a good intro to our show, because that's our culture. We could talk for hours on the quirkiness of our culture, but for our first collaboration here, I in terms of what we're trying to do, I think that's a good intro for us on the exploration of Filipino culture without going too much into it, I suppose, until another podcast.
No, absolutely right. I think it's what motivated us to kind of take on this challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
always, like you and I have, I mean, briefly, how we met. It's just basically out of a referral from, I guess a client. I don't know if she is your client, kind of like,
Oh
uh,
yeah, I mean Pi and Jay. Give credit
yeah.
to them because they never know who might be if they might be listening to this podcast. So,
You
so
know what?
you
Credit
never
to
never
them.
know, right?
Our because it was in line with my advocacy, where I wanted to shift a lot of the income opportunity back home, home as in the Philippines, and help out. And I didn't know how to do that, right? So now you have technology that could shift. You can work anywhere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? And I wasn't really exposed to the OFW hardship until late in my 30s, maybe early 40s, where
Mm-hmm.
you saw that huge sacrifice of our parents, right? um, and kind of like, what if, like for me, no, I'm like, what if we create enough opportunity that we can, help a few families not to go through that, right? They work from home, and that's what I was exposed to, the Philippine talent, the vast talent that we have back home,
Mm-hmm.
with the BPO, right? The call centers and things like that. So I was like, oh my God, it's already here. I've been asleep.
Yeah, it's been that's a problem that I feel like a lot of people have talked about, whether it's consistent. I mean, I think we're moving in that direction. Obviously, with the BPOs, maraming nangyayari na that you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's still very much a long way to go, but I'd like to probably stay positive and say that it's because of technology nga. Marami nang nangyayari that before, when I think about my father and the way he came here as an immigrant back in the early 70s.
Mm,
That was tough. That was tough. So
yeah.
to me, I feel like now you don't have to. if you don't want to, because there are opportunities being brought out into the global market for the Filipinos because of technology. I think definitely. So I'm excited to explore those problems or issues that
Mm.
the Filipino culture has ano ba yun? Yung just
Challenges, I guess.
challenges, right?
Yeah.
So with this podcast, the fact that you are as talkative as I am, I'll use that word, bro. You're as talkative as I am. I think I've met my match here. That we can continue to have these conversations and make these conversations very valid and on point, and
Yeah.
hopefully thought provoking to some people listening.
No, obviously, like I said in the beginning, that we're looking at this opportunity, how we came up, just kind of when an idea just hit, and we just kind of kept putting, we're piling on other ideas on top of it, and we came up with a concept. And I think, for our audience, and future audience, that you'll get something out of it. So we were toying on the idea of a couple people. I think part of our culture, going back to that, is, we love chismis, right? Rumors, kwentuhan, right? So I think, I think at one point we came up with,
That's part of our DNA, bro.
oh yeah, yeah, we came up with like chismis solution,
Chismis.
right?
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do was just not talk about issues, but then try to solve them,
Mm-hmm.
with the audiences, with the world, with our life experiences and observation, being rooted in the Philippines. I mean, I know we're outside the bubble,
Mm-hmm.
but then how, and there's a lot of Filipinos like that I met through my travels, that lived in different countries and worked in different countries, where they brought that solution. They kind of awakened. I know they're working there for money, to help support their family, but when they got back, and you see it all over YouTube, by the way, they end up opening up a business,
Yeah,
whatever that
exactly.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were exposed to that. They're going, oh my God, there's a door that I can do it. I can apply it, and I can have this confidence and stuff. So I think that's where you and I kind of looked at that and says, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's help somebody out, because we help ourselves get out of that, right?
If
What if we
anything, if
do
anything else, Arnell, I think what people get out of this is more sort of egging people on, encouraging them. Obviously, chismes. We talk about. Obviously, we can't help but be random at certain points and talk about certain things that may not be too scientific or backed by research, just our own
that irrelevant?
observation. you know but
Absolutely.
in the end, my art I'm hoping from this is that people will start talking and maybe go, oh, he's full of crap, or no, I agree, or that's a good idea, I never thought of it that way. So those are the things in my head, in my
Mm,
mind, that I feel like I want to have people say when they start commenting as we progress with our show, to
yeah.
just say things like that, because in the end, I
Mm,
don't want to just talk either. I'll be honest with you. I just want us to talk either. We do chismes, but the thing that I love about your spirit is that you do actually want to solve something too. Whether we solve it or maybe have just one idea that might, if somebody just takes, put it to
mm.
use or do baby steps, that would be great.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've as you get to know me, as everybody else get to know me, and I'm sure the same for you, Ferdy, or Bong, right? I'm still getting used to that, because I keep looking at your name. I'm like,
Oh,
he's got to be a
I'm glad.
Ferdy,
I'm
man.
glad your I'm glad your nickname. I'm glad your nickname is in Bing. Would you have to change this show to
Bing
Bong
Bong.
and Bing or Bing Bong?
That's a good one. We should have came up with that,
Yeah,
right?
too bad. You can
Yeah,
have a nickname
yeah.
like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And we'll go back to nicknames later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm losing my thought process here with that. Um, yeah. I guess I lost my place, man. You got me laughing, and
No,
uh,
I they
where
th-
was
that,
I?
we're gonna go to that. That's why I try
Yeah.
to take notes when we do our show, because I know that we can get onto some random things. But you were basically talking about, helping out, not helping out, but providing ideas.
Yes, thank
OFW.
you. Yeah, based
Yeah.
on about our story, right? Your story, my story. Obviously, as this show progress, we'll be able to share our own life experiences, right? Always I was exposed to different mentors, what they taught me, and I'd love to share those because I think it's sometimes when you're looking at doing your own thing as an entrepreneur, it's it's very difficult, right? To do it on your own, and you always need a group of folks that you can trust and give you advice. And of course, some of those trusts will take advantage of you. And I think there's a lot of topics where I'm sure you've seen it all over the social media where a business person was scammed for this or for that, right? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I want our channel to be a community where some people, if they're not shy, come join us and share your story, and how we can learn from that and kind of help somebody else out that's on their journey. You can email, right? So, or you can just message us, and we'd love to kind of bring that out. For me, my main thing is, I guess, I don't know how old you are, Bong. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, no,
yeah,
no,
as,
that's
as we
top
get up
secret.
there,
That's the secret. Yeah.
yeah, that's a secret. So, and if you guys guessed it, in the future when we have merch, you'll be able to get a free hat or something. So for everybody that's joining in, so you better research. I'm
Mhm.
sure AI has his information somewhere. So but anyways, yeah. So you a community where we can help out and help ourselves. And the neat thing about this is we can support each other around the world in helping entrepreneurs kind of tackle those things. We might not be 100% right, you know what I mean, but just through our experiences, I know I made a lot of mistakes.
No, the experience I think hopefully people will catch on as they listen to that are these are just our own observation, and I'll always say that that's the case. And sometimes it may not be backed with research or whatever, but it's just a thought, because there's too many things that you read on social media that I don't know if people actually fact check them. I just appreciate if that they would just at least say that this is my opinion, you know, as opposed to saying it, making it seem like it's a fact. So when we provide data, when we provide the ideas, I think it's going to be a mixture of things that we've tried. It might have not worked for somebody. I'm also a big fan of that, where it may have not worked for me. It might work for you,
Yeah,
but ideas is something that I'd like for us to continuously bombard people with, but at the same time, really encourage people to try it and provide ideas that are very straightforward. And also, I mean, not just ideas, but we obviously we have things. I'm sure in your bag of experiences or tricks or whatever you want to call it, or wisdom. It's just something that we just want to share, and it has worked for us, and hopefully it works for them.
yeah, absolutely right. And we're not ashamed of it, right? To ask help from AI. It's here. It's not, hopefully it doesn't replace all of us, but we're using it as a tool.
Maybe just some of us that
Just
needs
some
to
of
be
us, yeah,
replaced.
right.
Just
And
kidding.
it's so true, man. Yeah, it was Chika2Chaching, right?
Yeah,
Basically,
Chika
our
to
concept,
Chaching.
yeah, our
Yeah.
concept was talk about things, whatever comes up, and then provide ideas through our observation and experience of how we can deal with that, and other people can jump in and add into that. So it
Hmm.
became Chika number two, and then Chaching, and then I looked back at it. It said Chika, right? Like Chika on the second power. Like, why Chika Chaching? So it's developed.
Where Chika meets Chaching. Chika Chaching.